take us back to Friday's ceremony. I mean, the fans were chanting MVP to you as you were getting your awards, but we're used to hearing that at the end of the season. So for you to hear MVP chants in the middle of the season, what does that sort of say about what people think about the campaign you're having?
It's pretty wild. It's pretty cool. The whole experience was awesome. The fans made it great. I knew they would, but the organization made it great. It was a really cool experience.
What are you going to savor most about that? Like when you pick out all the tiny moments within that whole ceremony.
There's nothing I can pick out all that. Just the whole thing. I was literally just a fly on the wall. It took me a full day just to really sit back and realize what happened and soak it all in. So, I'm very grateful for everyone around me, and they did a great job with it.
Got a nice haul of merchandise out of that too. So I imagine the kids enjoyed the mini sticks.
Yeah, a little too much. Might have to get that repolished after the weekend, but they loved it, and everyone involved had a great time. It was good.
I was going to ask you about some of the cameos made in the video. Let's start with Tinley. How was the translation of those barks for you?
Yeah, I don't know who translated that, but they spoke dog perfectly, I swear. No, it was great. The cameos are great, and Buff getting on there and saying "see you on the water" at the very end was hilarious, and just a little piece of everyone that helped me along the way.
For a guy like that who doesn't really do a ton of media, as you may be aware, what does it feel like to be one of the pretenses where he's like, actually, I'm going to do that one?
Yeah, it's cool. Messaged him almost immediately after and thanking him, and the first thing he said is, "Yeah, let's go fishing." So, I'm pretty excited and trying to make that work, and hopefully it's late in the summer.
You got right back to business the following night, and not a easy task, of course, against a powerful Colorado team. Just business as usual for you and your team, and how that game played out.
I thought everyone played great. Our details were awesome. The guys, they brought it. They were competing hard, and our details to our game was, spot on how we wanted to play. That being said, I thought our work ethic in that game and our battle and our compete was extremely high, and that helped us do everything correctly.
2 seasons ago, you said that probably about a quarter of the way into the season that you felt like you were playing your best hockey of your career. But given the season that you're having personally within the context of the team's success all season long, is this the best hockey you've played in your career?
Absolutely. I think if you ask me tomorrow, I'll say the same thing. And you ask me a year from now, that will be my next best. So the idea of playing the best hockey is to continue to improve every single day, and seeing that your details get more and more automatic. And when I'm watching my games and I'm looking at how things play out in front of me, how much do I know what's going on, and how far ahead of it am I? And those are really good right now. And that only comes because the team is so predictable in front of me and playing such a good defensive hockey game, and everyone's pretty much where they are or where they need to be at all times, and it makes my life extremely easy.
How much has that elements evolved, like say from the end of last season through the playoffs into what you're seeing right now, that predictability, that structure that you're observing in front of you?
Yeah, I think every day it continues to get better. I think every year you have with that same squad and the same team, it just continues to build those details. And just like our personal games, you get better every single day, and you get better every single year, and you do watch yourself progress as a player. Well, same thing as a team. When you're together with the majority of the same guys, you start to progress as a team, and you start to really build chemistry and a detailed game.
Do you think that's the reason why you guys haven't lost this year after when leading after 2 periods? I mean, the record's impressive. Do you think that's part of the reason why you guys are so successful holding on to leads?
Absolutely. I think there's a lot of give and take in this locker room, and a lot of that give is in late in games. We're not going to take unnecessary risks. It's a very mature group now, and I think a lot of guys have bought into that system. And I mean, we're all having fun winning, and we all realize that winning is how you have fun in this league. It's not the hard days. It's not the battle days. It's when you win, you enjoy it, and you make sure you enjoy it. And everyone in this locker room is starting to learn that what their personal game looks like, and how they succeed is how this team succeeds.
In that sense, Connor, do you feel you guys are really gearing up for a strong second half, and most importantly, what you want to accomplish in the playoffs. Like Scott Arniel's talked about calluses formed from previous years. Like, do you feel like the lessons learned are really starting to play themselves out in what we're seeing on the ice with you guys?
Yeah, I think over a course of a season, it's never going to go perfect, and you can't come into a year thinking, oh, we're just going to build our game and it's just going to be just a straight build right to the end of the season and go into playoffs, and that's when you're going to be in your A game. No, it goes up and down. You go on good stretches, you go on bad stretches, and that's how you learn. You learn from your failures, and you learn from the tough nights, and that's how you start to build your game. So if you're going to come in here and expect just a continued improvement, that's not really how the game works. It doesn't work for anyone like that. Even the guys at the top, they go through ups and downs, and without the downs, you don't get the high ups.
I was thinking during that LA game where it was, I think, 1-0 for them for a while, that once upon a time the Jets might change how they played a little bit in sort of chasing that game down, and maybe there'd be some rushes and some one-man efforts and things like that. But it was a team game to get that game tied. Is that a sign that there's some growth and some lessons learned in this group over the last couple of years?
I would definitely say so. I think that's the biggest thing this year is we have learned that our game is good enough, and we need to stick with it and trust it. It might take all 60 minutes, and there might be a night where it doesn't work out, but majority of the time it is going to give us the best chance to win.
I wanted to ask, and this is going to be tough to get the words right here, but you were talking about being at your best when you feel like you know everything that's going to happen, that you've read the play, that you've predicted things in advance. Is there any analogy to that anywhere else in your life where, whether it's fishing or in life or even driving, seeing cars and knowing what they're going to do kind of deal, like that relates to goaltending in that way, that we could sort of understand that lens through?
I mean, really, you could take that analogy to everything in life, just kind of predicting what is going to come, what's ahead, what's in the future. Obviously, you can't always predict it perfect, but you have a kind of an idea of the few things that can. And if you do option A, well, B, C, and D might happen, Everything's a push and a pull, kind of knowing if I do this, this could happen. I guess is the best analogy I can give you. But obviously in sports, it's never this happens, this happens. It's I'm going to do this, and this, and this could happen. And being prepared for all three is what makes goaltending.
Having plan A, and then if it bounces X, Y, or Z, then you can't control the bounce, but you might be ready for it because you built that into what you did. I'm trying here.
Yes, yeah, exactly. But you still have to focus on A, just in case it doesn't get bounced or it doesn't get tipped or whatever. So yeah, there's just knowing what could potentially happen in front of you at all times.